Hello, my name's Maisie, and welcome to my very first YouTube video. As you saw from the title, today I am going to be designing Wings of Fire dragons based off of fish. I first got this idea in class when someone's presentation had a sockeye salmon on it. That made the creative part of my brain think, that fish looks like it would make a very good dragon design. And now I'm here with 3 new dragons and a story to go alongside them. The first dragon we are going to be looking at today is Storm of the Rainwings. She is the only dragon out of the 3 of them that is not a hybrid. She is also the only dragon out of the 3 of them that has 2 loving and living parents. As you can probably tell, this is not boding well for the other 2 dragons. Storm is a very athletic dragon. She loves swimming, flying, but most of all, she loves exploring. A trait she shares with her parents, so much so that their family lives a lifestyle of traveling, going place to place and never really having a set home. Storm is very confident, having her parents backing her up all the time, but she never lets it get to her head, and she knows when she needs to step back and let another dragon have the spotlight. Storm is also very caring and has a soft nature, but has trouble making friends, because constantly being on the move means she's never had the chance to forge any lifelong friendships. Storm's parents have never wanted another dragonette. They were happy with just the 3 of them, but everything changes when they find a mysterious egg in the sand. There's not much to say about Storm's design. I didn't really do anything with the actual fish except for taking the colors, but I tried to do as much with the colors as I could. She was the last one that I drew, even though I'm showing her first. I'm showing her first because it makes the most sense for the story. Now let's move on to Nella, the Sea-Wing Skywing. Nella was born into Storm's family because they found her all alone as an egg on the beach. Storm's family never knew where she came from or who her parents were, but that didn't matter to them. What mattered was that she was part of their family. Nella is a creative young dragon with a passion for storytelling in any way possible. That's why she loves to write and draw. She dreams of one day being a famous author, and she looks up to Queen Coral of the Sea-Wings for her storytelling prowess. Her and Storm are the bestest of friends now. They're practically inseparable, which is fine because they never really get separated anyway. Nella was the first dragon that I drew, and the dragon that I put the most effort into. I really like how her design came out, and I like that I incorporated lots of the different parts of salmon into it. Like the colors, of course, and also I made her a pretty angular dragon overall, which sockeye salmon are pretty angular fish, so it works out well. I was originally going to make her a boy, but my brother really wanted to name her Nella, which works a lot better for a girl character. The reason he wanted to name her Nella is because she's based off of a salmon. Salmonella, like salmonella. I do not know why he wanted to name her that, but that's a question for him, not me, so it's okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Nella. Next, I'm going to talk about Marble. I just want to preface this section by talking about how much I love him. He's definitely my favorite out of them because he just gives such puppy energy. Like, there isn't really another reason. He's such a puppy, and he's adorable, and he's such a fun little guy, and he has such a nice personality. Talking about personality, Marble's personality, I haven't thought too hard into it. I know that he's just a fun lover. He loves all things fun, all the time. And even though he spent his childhood not being able to really interact with a lot of other dragons, he's a very social guy and loves to spend all his time around other people. Talking about his childhood, Marble grew up in the Icewing Kingdom, with his dad being an Icewing. His mom he never got to meet. She was a Mudwing, but his dad always hid him away because if the Icewings knew that there was a half Mudwing in their midst, they would kick them out. And his dad made sure to be extra precautious of that by keeping him pretty much locked away for all of his childhood, but eventually the social butterfly inside of him led him to escape, and he got caught by an Icewing guard, and him and his dad were, they were kicked out. So that leads us to where we are in the story now. Marble and his dad have just joined the group of travelers because they were traveling for ages, trying to find somewhere to belong. And Marble has just become such good friends with Nella and Storm, and they're just the perfect little trio, and I love them so much. Anyways, as you can see from the speed paint that you're watching right now, or not watching, I guess, if you're like drawing or something else with this video. Anyway, the speed paint on the screen, as you can see from that, I have so much to say about Marble that it has bled into another speed paint, which is just a drawing of the three of them being adorable. But I'm gonna continue talking about Marble because I still have stuff to say about him. So, the design elements that I took from the fish, the sea raven that he's based off of, there were lots of patterns on the sea raven that I thought would go well into his design as a dragon, so I tried to stick to those, and of course I stick to the colors as much as I could. That's why I made him half mud and half ice. I was going into it just kind of not really knowing what I'd make him, but deciding to go with what the design brought. I don't really have much else to say about the designs. I've pretty much said all I need to say in their specific sections. So I'm just gonna say some stuff about this recording. This is my very first recording, so as it goes on, I'm gonna probably get better and better at talking. The first time I tried to record, I was like holding my breath the whole time, and it was not going well. And I've been doing it in like one breath sections. But for this part and Marble, I've been just like kind of going at it. And if I do something wrong, I'll like stop it and start again in that section. But other than that, it's been going pretty well. This is my very first video that I've ever like edited, and some of the first art I've ever made for this YouTube channel. So I'm sorry if it's not like really good. I'm gonna get better with time, but all I need to do now is just practice and make a lot more videos, and then I'll get better. Anyways, to talk about the actual speed paint that you're seeing right now, or as I said earlier, maybe not seeing, the speed paint on the screen right now. I really enjoyed making this because I just had such a vivid idea in my mind that they'd all be curled up and sleeping under the shade of a tree on a sandy beach. And it's just such a sweet idea, and I really wanted to convey more about Marble's puppiness with him. Like, you can see the marks in the sand that show that he moves around a lot, while the other two are just kind of still. And he's just looking so happy. He's never been happier in his life. He's with people who love him and with friends, and everything is going well for Marble, and I only want that to continue. I'd also, on the topic of Marble that I forgot to mention earlier, I'm going to mention my brother also named him. My brother also kind of named Storm. He couldn't, like, I asked him for a name for Storm, and he didn't really come up with any good ideas, but there was one that was, like, Storm, like, congealed with something else, so I took the Storm element, because it kind of works with her wings. Also, on the note of the recording, if there's any background noise, that's because I'm not the only person in this house. There are people watching TV downstairs, also possibly playing the piano, because my brother really loves playing the piano. Continuing with the topic of the speed paint in the background, I don't really draw full bodies of dragons in more dynamic poses, even though they're sleeping. It's not very dynamic, but they're in, like, not just standing up poses, side views of them standing up. And I haven't drawn dragons in a while, so I more draw humans, so I don't have all that much experience with dragons. I went through a phase of drawing dragons every second of my life and never stopping to breathe, but now I draw other things as well as dragons, never stopping to breathe. I'm sorry if this video is very disorganized. I recorded over several different times. The first, like the intro and the recordings for Storm and Nella were both done yesterday at the time of this recording, and I've done this whole recording in like one session, divided by dinner time, so I guess it was 2 sessions. But it's very disorganized. I mean, I haven't gone back to watch like the whole thing yet, and I'm scared that it's gonna be like jumping from thing to thing. But as I said, this is my very first video to record, so I don't really have experience with that. I was gonna record like an actual outro for this video, but I didn't really know what to do with that visually. And since I have a ton of time on this last speed paint, I'm just gonna record it now. So, yeah, thank you for watching my very first YouTube video. I appreciate it very much. I would also appreciate it if you like engaged with this video in any way else, like watching it again. That would be very nice. Also commenting, liking, or even better, subscribing. But I feel weird asking for that. So do that if you want to, and don't if you don't. Hopefully, I'm going to post another video soon. I don't really know what my schedule will be, but I'm hoping I can post within the next week. That's a goal of mine, like posting weekly, but it does take a long time to make videos and to make my art, so I don't know if that's going to be achievable. I'm hoping I can post on the community tab a lot more, like more like daily maybe, and I'm hoping that I can like make some shorts, but I don't know. I don't know much about that kind of field of making things, but I know it's a lot easier to reach a wider audience if you do that. So that's a goal of mine, to learn how to make shorts and to actually make them and put them out there. Hopefully that'll be something you can look forward to in the future. And with that, I have finished my very first YouTube video. Hopefully, see you soon!